Hello everyone, just waiting for a few more people to join us. A few more moments, then we'll get a few more people to join us ready for the webinar. Doing numbers, Sarah. A few more coming, do you think?
We're at about 20 at the moment.
30 seconds, then we'll get started. Okay. Well, firstly, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on the STEM Ambassador Programme. My name is Craig Woodcock-Orme. I'm the Professional Development Manager here at SIGN, and we'll welcome you all to our lovely webinar today. Just some housekeeping before we start. If you've got any questions, then please drop them into the Q&A button, Q&A tab on the bottom of your browser there, and then Sarah and I will pick them up during the webinar today. And there'll be an opportunity to pose these questions at the end of the webinar. Great that you've all got your microphones off and your cameras off, which is great. So I'll start off with handing over to Sarah. Would you like to introduce yourself, Sarah, please?
Thank you, Craig. So I'm Sarah. I've recently joined SIGN as Professional Development Administrator, and I've also got a background in teaching. So we're here today really to let you all know about the STEM Ambassador Programme. And in the next hour, we're hoping really to help you understand what the role is and why we think they're so important in the sector. We're going to cover some of the benefits of being a STEM ambassador and what support is available. And you'll also hear from our panel of STEM ambassadors who'll be sharing some of their experiences, which we're going to inspire you and sign up and hopefully help you sign up and make a difference. So Craig, would you like to tell us all about STEM ambassadors?
I'll do my very best. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. So yeah, so STEM ambassadors across the UK, there are about 28,000 STEM ambassadors working with young people to raise the profile of science, technology, engineering, and maths, which is STEM. A quick question for you all, if you want to answer in the chat on the Zoom here, there's a little chat function for those not aware. What percentage of those 28,000 STEM ambassadors do you think work in the environmental ecology sector? So just have a little think about a percentage and drop in the chat what percentage you think work in the ecology environmental sector. Okay. I'll put in what the chats what we're coming back with. 1%, 15, 5, 10, yeah, that's good, okay, yeah. So 15 is very optimistic, so it's good to know that you're optimistic to get more people signed up, which is great. Yeah, it's actually 1%, so very low, as you can probably imagine. So 1% of those working as a STEM ambassador or volunteer STEM ambassador actually work in the ecology and environmental sector, so it's vastly underrepresented. So that's why we're here today, is to inspire as many of you as possible to sign up to become a STEM ambassador and learn more about it from our panel of members as well. So what actually is a STEM ambassador? STEM ambassadors are positive role models. They basically bring STEM subjects to life, and they do this by bringing their knowledge and experience to share their experiences with young people and also raise the awareness of different career opportunities in the industry. Ultimately, STEM ambassadors, they then become the champion or a champion for the sectors they work in. Obviously, the ambassador programme, some ambassadors are actual volunteers, so you have to give up your time, and the commitment of that is quite minimal to however much time you've got available to support the cause. We'll come on to that a bit later on, because I think there's a question later on to pose you. So yeah, so STEM ambassadors are there to inspire young people and raise opportunities and career opportunities available, make people aware of those. So why we might need more STEM ambassadors? So there's lots of opportunities there for us to really make a big difference in the lives of young people, but also some key challenges facing us at the moment are obviously the twin environmental challenges of biodiversity loss and climate change. We also need to increase capacity. There's not enough people working in the industry. And also we're keen to raise awareness of career opportunities and how to actually get those jobs. There's a big skill shortage, for example, botanical ID skills and various others. So we're, again, keen to address this by bringing new people into the industry. Actually, that succession planning of the younger people coming into the industry in years to come, which starts off at grassroots level. There's also a lack of diversity and inclusivity right across the industry, which we're fully aware of. So we're really trying to address that as an institute, and with some campaigns we're doing around green jobs for nature. There's also a misconception of the industry being a volunteering roles only. So people don't actually see this as actually a paid opportunity in the future. So we're trying to change that myth that actually, yes, you can volunteer, but actually a lot of properly paid jobs and career opportunities that you can get teeth into and progress with. And finally, another key part from science point of view is that one of our strategic goals is around championing change. So we're here to promote green jobs, reaching out to young people, inspiring them, and promoting diversity across the industry. A lot of work has been done with this around the Green Job for Nature campaign, and I can share the link to that during the webinar. That campaign's aimed at working with stakeholders to raise awareness of nature-related careers and also to young people from underrepresented groups. So the STEM ambassador route on the STEM ambassador program is kind of key to this, really, is actually getting to young people through schools to make them aware of the opportunities available to them long term. So to help bring us to life today, we've got a couple of panel members I'd like to introduce you to. So I'll introduce you in a moment to Ashley, Ella, and Jen, who are three of our STEM ambassadors. Should we start with Ashley? Do you want to say hello, Ashley, and introduce yourself and how long you've been doing STEM ambassadors for?
Yeah, thank you very much, Craig. Yeah, so my name is Ashley. I have been a member for CIEM for quite a while, but a STEM ambassador longer than that. I started my sort of STEM ambassador career in 2016 or 17, I think, when I was in university. So I've been doing it for quite a while, and yeah, really want to share experience with folk on the webinar today. Oh, and sorry, I'm in marine biology, so my specialism is marine mammals, so slightly different to a lot of CIEM jobs, but trying to bring that marine element to the panel.
Thank you, Ashley. And Ashley also joined us at another webinar we did on this a couple of years ago, so thanks for coming back again and sharing your experience. And should we also introduce you to Ella? Ella's on the call as well.
Hello. Don't know if that's worked. No.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, I'm Ella Dangerfield. I'm an ecologist at Burton Reed Associates, based in Devon, and I've been a STEM ambassador, shockingly, for I think I signed up about 18 months ago, and I've only done one activity, but I'm kind of here to show you that actually you can be a STEM ambassador and only do one activity a year, and it can still be really, really rewarding. So yes, I want to share kind of that experience that I've had trying to become a STEM ambassador and how to fit it into a busy life.
Thank you, Ella. And we've got Jen on the call as well.
Thanks, Craig. Hi, everyone. My name is Jen, and I am a senior advisor with Natural England on the Defining Favourable Conservation Status project. And I also work part-time as an ecological surveyor specializing in terrestrial mammals. So I've been a STEM ambassador since 2019, and just really anxious to share with everybody the experience. And as Ella said, you don't have to give a whole lot of time, but the time you do give is very rewarding.
Jen, first bit of inspiration. There we go. We should have a bit of tally chart, shouldn't we? That's really great. Thanks, really. So, start us off there. I've got a couple of questions to ask the three of you then. So, can you briefly give some examples of the type of activities that you've been involved in? Should I come to Ashley first? Some examples of activities you've been doing.
Yeah, of course. So It's British Science Week this week. I don't know if anybody knows. So a big week for STEM ambassadors. You generally get a lot of activities and offers during this week. So I've tried to kind of concentrate my effort in this week. So I delivered on Tuesday. I went to a high school and we delivered, it was in partnership with an organisation called STEMazing, and they're helping to bring women into the STEM ambassador sphere more so, and sort of develop their soft skills like public speaking and things like that. So I worked with STEMazing on Thursday at a secondary school, and that was delivering a session on general science, technology, engineering and maths. Pretty much everything was in there. Yesterday, I went to a primary school, delivered more of a marine biology session. So a bit of they had to create their own marine mammal, thinking about adaptations and sound. Because I try to fit some of my activities with the curriculum as well. And then today, this is my, this counts as one of my activities today as a STEM ambassador, which is great. And also I've delivered mock interviews, online mentorship, online chat rooms that are about 30 minutes that you can fit into your lunch break. And yeah, in person, remote, and with science festivals, any sort of activity you can think of. I think that I've experienced or would like to give a go. But yeah, there are many, many different types of ways you can deliver STEM sessions.
Great, thank you, Ashley. And I think we're covering I'm a Scientist to get me out of here later on, actually. So good that you've done that. And Jen, same question really. Some examples of some activities you've been involved in, please.
Well, as Ashley mentioned, there's such a wide variety of activities that you can get involved in. I've done some teacher training actually with helping to connect, because I tend to work more with the younger age group. So working with primary teachers to help connect children with nature. Also done a number of career days and hands-on activities. Spent a lot of time actually drawing like chalk circles on pavements, talking about food webs, and I have an arsenal of puppets as well. So there's all kinds of things that you can do to get really creative. And last year, and well, actually starting year before last, started working with one particular primary school on habitat mapping the grounds behind the school and doing a full-on mammal bird survey and so forth, to do a baseline, to give a baseline survey. So I had the opportunity to work with 4 other STEM ambassadors from different sectors as well to do that, and that's kind of an ongoing project. So what's really great is, well as signing on to the projects like for Science Week and what have you, that you can also develop ongoing relationships with different schools and educators that will ask you back to do different things. So you can get a bit creative.
Yeah. And Ella, some example. I know you've done one activity, I think you said. So what was that around?
Well, I went into my son's school. He's at secondary school. They have a green club there, and it was actually sort of in 2 parts. So the first part was going in to talk about the job of an ecologist, and for that I took basically some ecology kit into school to kind of initiate discussions about what it might be used for, and what to find a way into that discussion about what the job of an ecologist is. And then the second part was that they were trying to improve the biodiversity value of an area of the school. So we went out and did a little bit of a survey of that area and gathered some ideas for what the children wanted to create there, and came back into the classroom, and they created the most amazing ideas maps of how they wanted this area in school to look, which was just absolutely wonderful. I actually realised that I have actually done some extra STEM ambassadoring without really realising it when I was mentoring one of the placement students that we had at our company last year. So yeah, having someone shadow me, that was also actually really, really rewarding, because you kind of see your job through someone else's eyes again, and sort of going through the basics of what you actually do. I take so much for granted these days that actually seeing it back at that base level is really, really great. And like Ashley said, and Jen, It's Science Week, so I will be going into a school tomorrow to do some volunteering at a primary school, and I'll be doing a similar activity actually that I did at my son's secondary school. So taking in kit, pictures of animals, trying to match up what kit you might use to survey what animal, and then going out into the grounds and hopefully creating a habitat map.
Oh, great and really inspiring. And I think I remember when I was a young kid and we had like a local environmental person come in and brought in loads of animals and species and some bits of grass and some ID stuff. So having that young experience at school age is great. Just a sort of side note, those that are interested, we've also we're working with various partners on the National Nature Education Park, and there's another webinar on the 25th of April next month around this and how members and non-members can get involved in that going forward. It's kind of a little bit like we mentioned there, like going into local schools and helping them to create a habitat mapping of their area and just showing them practical skills of how to create a pond, for example, or improve their school estate. And that is basically basically a STEM ambassador task or activity. So you can start a STEM ambassador and do that sort of thing as well as part of the National Education Map, which is a big website, habitats across the whole UK. Sorry, whole of England, sorry. That webinar will send you links for, so that's good. Another quick question for the three of you. What skills do you think are needed to become a STEM ambassador? Should we go with Ella's on this? Ella, do we have that one? Yeah. What's key skills that you needed?
I think one of the key skills is openness and flexibility, because you never really know what kids are going to do. And so I tend not to, I have also worked as a teacher before, so I do come with a little bit of prior knowledge, but it's good to have something to kind of to lead you into a discussion or into an activity, but not to over plan it, because nothing's ever going to go to plan. So going with the flow of children, having that openness and being able to react to whatever comes up from their side, I think that's a really, really key skill.
And Jen, did you want to jump in any sort of key skills you feel are needed?
I absolutely want to second what Ella just said. I was an environmental educator for many years, and flexibility is key, and a really good sense of humor as well. And just to be really willing, I think, to learn from the groups who you're working with. I think that's a big part of it as well. And just to really have fun with it. And it's amazing how many skills you actually have that you realize when you get into the classroom or whatever setting you're in when you're working with groups, and just to be able to impart that enthusiasm.
And Ashley, what sort of skills do you think are needed for STEM ambassador? Anything to add?
I think one of, I mean, it's not a skill that you need to start with, but I think the reason that I started was I wanted to develop my public speaking. And now, obviously, last year I was on a webinar, this year I'm on a webinar, so it really has paid dividends. Definitely a lot more confident with public speaking now. But that was the reason that I started. And a lady that I was at an event with on Tuesday, she hadn't done public speaking before, and that was also the reason why she started. And she was a bit nervous before her talk, but did absolutely fantastically, and will go on to do more and more. And I think it's a really good way to develop any soft skills like that you may not have the opportunity to in your job just yet, or you haven't maybe developed a certain skill that you might require as a senior or moving through your career. It really gives you the opportunity to do that. So yeah, it might not be necessarily a skill that you have yet, but it's something that you desire. Really, really useful for developing public speaking. As Jen and Ella said, openness, flexibility. The class I was in yesterday, I haven't had a class like it before. Normally they're really engaged, really listen. And yesterday's class was really difficult, and I've never had that before. And it was really interesting just to figure out ways on how to get them engaged and, do things a little bit differently. So you never know what you're going to get. It's really good just to keep that flexibility. And yeah, organization, time management, all these soft skills that are useful for your career, you really, really get to develop them with being a STEM ambassador.
That's a nice segue, actually, looking at benefits. So the next question I was going to ask you three of you was what are the key benefits you've gained from being an ambassador? So you highlighted some of them already, actually. But yeah, any other sort of benefits that you personally gained, or something that you've noticed about yourself, maybe? Should we start with Ella?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I really benefited from was, yeah, I was sort of feeling like I was in a bit of a dip, not massively motivated in my job just recently, and it was actually so fantastic to go into a group of children who were just so brimming with ideas and so into nature and wanting to do their absolute best. But I think the other thing is that you know, probably most of us as members of SAIM, we are interested in nature. We you know, we want nature to do well, and I think this is, for me, this is the most important thing, is kind of trying to connect children with nature and feeling as though I'm kind of working beyond being an ecologist to actually do something that will help nature along, and by connecting children with nature, that's fundamental, I think, to yeah, helping nature do well.
Right, Ella, thank you. And some good benefits they've highlighted, and I feel really more inspired than about everybody else. So Jen, move on to you then, Jen. What sort of benefits have you gained from being an ambassador? What have you gained from it?
There's nothing more satisfying, I think, than connecting the next generations with nature. And I first went into this when I wasn't really sure whether or not I had the time or what have you. And the coordinator at my local hub said, well, we especially really need women to motivate girls that they can get involved with the sector, because we really don't have a lot of women to do this. And I was hooked. So it's like, while I really, want to motivate all children to get involved with nature, I mean, that was something that I found was really important for me. So I get a lot of satisfaction doing that. And I suppose the other thing as well is it's just fun. There's nothing like when you do a job that is but that you feel is important, but it's largely desk-based, getting up there with the classroom and having them make bat call sounds. And there's just nothing more fun than that, It's like, and yeah, it just kind of keeps it real, to be honest with you.
I want to hear what a back call sounds like now. Join your classes.
I probably won't do the imitation on this call, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Jen. And Ashley, again, what you touched on some of them already, obviously, but any other benefits you gained from being an ambassador?
Yeah, I think Ella hit the spot really, about how cool your job actually is. Sometimes when you've been doing it for so long, or you've got reports to write, you can forget how actually cool and interesting this line of work is. And being able to explain it to children really makes you be enthusiastic about your position. Other sort of benefits that I can think of, creativity, especially. So being creative, trying to make activities really helps you in your job. If you're building those neurons firing for creativity, thinking about children's activities to get them engaged, that really helps you when you're doing any ecology work, marine biology work, when you're, doing any assessments or anything like that, particularly now where we're in this biodiversity net gain sphere. We as ecologists, we need to get more creative. So it really helps with sort of firing those neurons and thinking about different solutions to problems, I think.
Right. Thank you all three for your questions there. Some great answers. And we'll touch upon some of these a bit more later on about some of the benefits, the support offered, and also some activities. So thank you very much for that. So we've heard from the panel members. We'll hear from them again a bit later on. So don't forget to add any questions you have in the Q&A box on the Zoom there. Okay, and Sarah and I will pick them up throughout the webinar. So we've had a bit of an insight into the role of a STEM ambassador. But actually, if you have a little think now about maybe what could you offer? Okay. Some examples could be get involved in some after school clubs, taking a group of pupils out on a field trip, support with CV writing, mentoring, virtual careers fairs, physical career fairs, so going into a careers at school maybe and hosting a career fair. You could also get involved in developing career and curriculum resources. And like I think Jen mentioned, and Ella bringing some kit into local schools as well. It doesn't also necessarily mean stand up in a classroom of 30 school children. It can be with community groups, colleges out in the field, scholarship pupils out in the field. It could be anything you really want to do. We'll come on a bit later on how you actually choose an activity or create your own activity. And again, if you create your own activity, you kind of can govern what you want to do and who you want to deliver it to. But at the moment, if you, as I carry on talking and for that presentation, if you have any ideas of the sort of activities you are starting to think about now, then do just drop them into the chat. Have a little bit of inspiration, a little think about what you might want to deliver. Just pop them into the chat and give your ideas and share amongst others because it might inspire someone else on the call. Okay. I think Ashley mentioned a program called I'm a Scientist, iamscientist.org.uk, which is I'm a Scientist, get me out of here. It's a 30-minute chat in real time with school kids. So basically sign up for this website and you can basically engage in real time whenever you want to, so lunchtimes or afternoons or whenever you're available. And live real-time chat with the local school kids, so they can ask you a question about your role or what you do in your career, and then you can interact with them that way. And that's a nice sort of easy way potentially into the STEM ambassador role of engaging with young people in particular. Lots of opportunities there. We talked about a little bit about the roles of activities and what you can be doing, but also what actually is the time commitment. So Ella, I think, mentioned that she's done one activity so far. Ashley, she's been an ambassador for a number of years now, and so has Jen, so we've also done more. But in terms of time commitment, all you need to do, the minimum requirement for an ambassador is one activity or 1 hour per year. So if you think about it, even just volunteering your time for 1 hour in one whole year, that 1 hour you might actually inspire at least one young person to potentially consider a career in ecology and environmental management, which would be fantastic. Even that 1 hour at the top of your time. So if you did more activities, you've got more potential, obviously, but obviously it's your time as well. So it's what you can commit to ultimately. Okay, so we'll now look at benefits. I'll hand over to Sarah, look at the benefits of being a STEM ambassador.
Thanks, Craig. I think, Jen, Ashley and Ella has really spoken very passionately about their roles as STEM ambassadors. So I think you can clearly see some of the benefits that you may have and get out of it yourselves, that the fact that, you get that warm, fuzzy feeling when you kind of help somebody, or, those children really understand what your job is and what difference they could make. It's that, real positive difference that you can make. But I think it's also kind of not just about that feeling good, which is the main reason why people go into doing these activities. It's also, there's lots of opportunities to network and gain new skills as well, such as maybe coaching or developing your own confidence. And there's also the benefit of improving your own knowledge and experience, and which links really into what SAIEM really promotes as part of our membership. So there are other benefits rather than just that feeling good aspect. Obviously, the children get a lot out of you being there, even if things go completely wrong. From my experience, children love knowing what they're learning and how that relates to real life. And so, you're inspiring them really to think about their future. And the activities that you do with them can really spark their curiosity and their imagination. And really, from the research that's been done about STEM ambassadors, it's, educators say that 94% really makes a difference in children's aspirations and their career interests. So it would be really great to know that actually, as a STEM ambassador, you're part of this. Also, I suppose we also need to mention the employers as well, because after all, some of these activities may take place in your work time. And so obviously there is that corporate social responsibility. and that the STEM ambassadors really are raising your organisation's profile within the local community. And we also, as Craig mentioned at the beginning, really is we have a capacity crisis. And, you know, you're in there, you're kind of inspiring the next generation really and supporting that recruitment and building interest in the sector. You get a good chance to build good relationships with schools and colleges and community groups. And then obviously you're benefiting and your employer's benefiting as well, because you're building on a whole range of new skills that you can then take back into your workplace. So really, I think there are lots and lots of benefits to becoming a STEM ambassador. And, you know, if you're doing it, you are making a difference. And sometimes we forget that actually we can inspire the future generations. And the good news is actually there is lots of support on offer to enable you to do this role, which Craig is going to talk to us about. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Just a quick side note about employers and benefits to employers. We're looking to delivering another webinar later this year aimed at employers to encourage them to think about how they can support their employees becoming STEM ambassadors and the benefits to the employers. So look out for those webinars later this year. Okay. But in terms of support available, yes, there's a lot of support available for you out there. So primarily STEM learning. So as a STEM ambassador, you'd sign up for both the moment, but you sign up through STEM learning for their platform, and a lot of support offered through them. Regular newsletters. You could then become part of their regional hub. There's lots of resources on their website, so lesson plans, fact sheets, so some templates to work with straight away. There's also a STEM learning community platform, so as a STEM ambassador, you can sign up to that for free. You've got access there of joining various different discussion threads and forums. They can share best practice and network with other people across your industry, but also different industries and sectors, so you can benefit from what works well in schools and what doesn't work quite so well. We've just set one up. Ours is called Ecology and Green Jobs for Nature. And when you come up as a STEM ambassador, you'll be able to find that one live on the community page there. So we're looking forward to seeing you engage on that one. There's also lots of training available. So these are self-led training courses as well as live training courses online. For example, presentation skills, how you get signed up as a STEM ambassador, how you explain your job to an 8-year-old, and also how to engage with young learners in the classroom. So there's lots and lots of support from STEM learning as an organisation. Here at SIAM, I'm currently looking after the STEM programme here for members. So if you're a SIAM member on the call and you're interested in becoming a STEM ambassador, then again, we can support you. And again, if you are, then do let us know that you're signing up or considering it, because we can support you on your journey. We're keen to raise the profile of STEM ambassadors across the organisation and also across the industry. So if you're not a member, it's not a problem, because again, the idea is actually this is about actually getting more people becoming STEM ambassadors across the industry, not just SIAM members, getting young people engaged. And we're keen to do that by raising the profile of the work that ambassadors do, and also recruiting more ambassadors. So we've done a couple of blogs, doing a series of webinars, and looking at how again we can promote the programme more widely. And in terms of peer support, so I mentioned about the online community, there's opportunities to network. We've also set up a working group that's comprised of SIAM members and non-members, but STEM ambassadors, and Ella, Ashley and Jen are part of that working group, and there's about a dozen of us. So again, it's a chance to network, share best practice, and learn new things as well, really. So just as a summary, there's a lot of support available for you on your journey. And again, you don't have to do lots of activities. You can start off with one activity and build upon your skill set then, and what you can build upon. And ultimately, you can then develop your own plan of activity at the same time. So you look at the support available. What we'll now look at very quickly is a series of useful resources there you can see on the screen. I won't go through them in depth per se, but we've said that you'll get the presentation slides and this link here in particular. You can follow those different links in particular to where they are. But STEM learning is the key one. You've got the Natural History Museum, do a range of teaching resources you can look at, and also the STEM crew with quite a good collection of resources available there. We have got a quick question, so I'll quickly throw in the mix here. So someone's asked a question. I do schools outreach within my role already. Is there benefit to becoming a STEM ambassador alongside this? I mean, I'll take that on quickly. Yes, there is really, because straight away as a STEM ambassador, you get the additional support I just mentioned. Also, you can benefit from the best practice from other STEM ambassadors and share ideas with them. You actually get accredited in terms of your, you can get logos put on your email signature. You can enter the awards, STEM awards, and also if you're a sign member, you can obviously include it as part of CPD. I've got Ella, Jen, and Ashley on the call there. Any other sort of reasons why someone should actually sign up as an ambassador if we're already doing outreach work already? Ashley, she's like you.
Yeah, so I mean, you've mentioned a lot there, Craig. You've got the awards, you get you know, different types of badges, you can log your hours. Also I don't know if your work are sorting out your DBS check or anything like that, but STEM ambassadors sort that out for you. You just simply fill in an online form and then they send you the DBS check, and you get an ID card as well that you can use to go into schools as well. So there's just some key safety elements and, you know, identification elements that STEM provide as well.
Thank you, Ashley. And Jen?
Yeah, I think you pretty much touched on everything, Craig and Ashley, but I would say as well, just really being part of a community, and the fact that you're able to brainstorm with other ambassadors with ideas and so forth. And that's been really useful. You don't feel like you're just working on your own.
Especially if some people are also working on their own, self-employed ecologists potentially. So being part of a STEM program, you are straight away building up your network around you and your peer-to-peer support. So it's never a personal benefit as well, which was mentioned. And Ella, have you got anything to contribute towards that at all?
No, I think you've hit on, yeah, pretty much most of the points, but I think because that's how I became a STEM ambassador as well, was kind of, I used to, you know, help out with Forest School in my children's school, and I think it was just nice to have it sort of made more official somehow. It sort of, I don't know, somehow raises the profile, gives a bit more kudos, and also with my employer, you know, it's something much more than, oh, I'm just going into my kids' school. It broadens it a bit.
Definitely, it's like recognition as well. You know, when someone does volunteering work, you're doing it, you're volunteering for your own personal reasons, you want to make a difference or to inspire young people, but also it is nice to get that recognition as well. So if there's an official program like STEM Learning or a STEM program, obviously, that does recognise that. And, you know, like you said, you can then put on your CV, you can make your employer aware that you're part of a STEM ambassador program, but then might encourage other people to sign up. So it's those sorts of other links that can happen as well. So I mentioned about how you sign up as a STEM ambassador. We'll literally come on to that in a moment. So I hope I'll answer your question in a moment. So I'll move on swiftly. I won't read the whole quote. Again, these slides will come to you. But this is a quote from Tim, who attended a webinar we did a couple of years ago on STEM ambassadors. In a nutshell, he attended the webinar. He heard from Ashley and some other colleagues talking about their experience of being a STEM ambassador, and thoroughly was inspired by it, and actually signed up very quickly to become a STEM ambassador, and had a lot of support from the local STEM hub. And then quite quickly after that, we're actually in front of school kids doing a session about being an ecologist. So he was inspired really from how they can get involved with becoming an ambassador. So quite a lot of activities so far, and actually he's now setting up his own activities, I think around climate change it was. So it can be literally, you can do 1 hour a week, 1 hour a month, 1 hour a year. It's whatever commitment you can provide really, as long as you've got the time to do it really. There's no precursor what you should or shouldn't do on that one. So hope you're starting to feel a bit inspired after hearing from Ashley, Jen and Ella about the actual role of STEM ambassador. But the next thing is, how do you actually sign up then? Okay, so one of the questions was, how do you sign up? So the key thing is you can go to, there's a QR code in this presentation if you're on your phone, but you can go to stem.org.uk/register. It'll take you straight to the STEM Learning website, and on there it'll guide you through the process. There's an online form to fill in. Fill that out, or then go to STEM Learning, and your local hub will be in contact with you shortly after. There's then an induction process, again all online. So you have a DBS check. You also have a couple of videos you can watch and some training sessions online. It takes you through the process. So like I said, you'll have your DBS check, or the PVG in Scotland, I think it is. And once that's all been approved and you've done all your pre-sign up assessments, as it were, or induction, will then get approved, and from then you can then start volunteering and start actually replying to some offers and actually potentially creating your own opportunity, which leads me nicely on to the next one of how you then find an activity. So So the next step then, basically, you've been approved as a STEM ambassador. You then can now start looking for what you want to do. So this slide that I should put up is basically part of the dashboard. So STEM learning, you get an online profile you get given, and on there is a dashboard. And on the left-hand side, you can see people, resources, then activities. And on activities, this will bring up this page. And in, for example, on this one page, when I looked at it a few days ago, you can filter it as much as you want if you want to do an online event activity or in person or hybrid. When you're looking to do an activity, so you might want to do it straight away. You might want to do it maybe in July or maybe in October when after survey season. And you can actually look what activities come up in that filter search and then click on it. And then we have a graphic on the picture, on the slide, sorry. STEM in early years is an example of one of the activities. This is STEM in early years. This activity was presented by a primary school in Glasgow. You can see the age range there is 5 to 7-year-olds, and they're looking for 3 ambassadors to deliver some STEM to 25 pupils. And again, it was a description of what they're actually doing and the areas of expertise they're looking for. So particularly this one, during this week, actually, British Science Week, looking for someone who's got experience with biology, chemistry, mathematics, science, technology, construction, one of those key areas, and also maybe some experience of delivering sessions to early years. So again, the system is really intuitive. You can really filter it down to your experience, your skill set, when you want to do the activity, the type of activity, online or in person, and your availability as well. So it's a great way of using the system. And again, it can be online, in person, whatever your preference is. The other option is you can create your own opportunity. So I think Tim, who was inspired by the last webinar, he's now actually creating his own activities. I think some of our STEM ambassadors do them themselves. So you can think about, what activity do you feel you can deliver? Again, is it going to be in person or online? What sort of audience you're looking at targeting? Is it going to be school children? Is it their teachers? Maybe parents and carers? The number of participants you're looking at, and when you might want to hold this, and what their aims of the session are. So that you basically, again, fill out this short online form. This gets then posted to the STEM learning platform, and then schools that might be interested in that then click on it and think, I might be interested in that, and then they may then confirm your offer, and then they can then start that relationship of actually how you then sign up to become involved. Okay. So it leads me on nicely to Sarah, who's going to just talk to this slide here. Some lovely little QR codes for us to scan.
Thanks, Craig. So really, we hope kind of through this webinar that you've really started to understand what a STEM ambassador is and what you can do really to be involved. And really, our question really was at the beginning was, can you be the next STEM ambassador? I'm kind of hoping that, lots of you on the call today will now say, actually, yes, I could. I can give that minimum, 1 hour a year. And is really keen to sign up. So really, you can use the QR codes here to either find out more or just to sign straight up and get the ball rolling, as it were, really, and kind of make a difference and encourage young people to get involved in ecology and the environment, and join lots of other ambassadors up and down the country. So I think we've got a few minutes left, Craig. Shall we?
Thanks, Sarah. And also a quick one. Those QR codes you can use. We will be sending these links post event as well with the recording, so you can watch it back or share them with your colleagues if you want to inspire some other people, your peers. And you can also then click on the links that will send you to then sign up straight away. So let me just quickly close the slides down. And then I'm going to do this. Stop share. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, Sarah, have we got any questions in the chat, please?
We do have one about asking if you're expected really to do STEM activities that are related to your job. So does it have to be related to your job, or could you go in and do a different type of activity? I don't know if anyone would like to answer.
I'll come in on that one. Yeah, like I said, the activity I did on Tuesday was talking about STEM careers in general, so talking about science, technology, engineering and maths. We did an activity that was sort of more physics related, so it definitely does not have to be to do with your job. You can deliver, you know, things that you want relating to your job, but sometimes you get offers where there's a school or a science fair asking for a specific thing or a specific group of people to help them deliver something. And you can talk about something that's maybe outside of your comfort zone, but it's good experience. Yeah, so absolutely, it doesn't have to be related to nature, it doesn't have to be related to your job. You can do many other activities that are to do with STEM in general. It is completely up to you what you choose. As you saw the dashboard there, you can see how the offers come in, so you can choose what you register for.
Thank you. And we've got one asking if there's any availability in Ireland for this type of activity. Does anybody know that one?
I'm just checking actually on the STEM Learning website. I think it's just UK related. So you have an Irish project officer. I don't think STEM covers Ireland at the moment. I think it is only UK, so related, unfortunately. But there are the schemes available in Ireland that are similar. So if you're interested to know about that, let us know. Let us know who you are. Drop us an email, and then we can send you some details. Any other questions, Sarah, in the chat?
No, I think that's all of those.
Okay, that gives us some.
Craig.
If you've got some more questions we're going through the last few moments, then do jump in, please. I've got a couple of other questions I could ask Ashley and Jen. So let's start off with what motivated you to sign up as a STEM ambassador, and how long did it take from signing up to actually your first activity? We'll start with Jen.
Well, my main motivation, I suppose, was I was very new to this country, and I didn't have any connections in terms of how to get involved with what I was passionate about. And my sister-in-law is a retired teacher, and she put me onto STEM. She was a STEM ambassador. And so really it was just to learn and maybe help, pass on whatever I could to the next generations. I thought, well, I'll do it for a while, see if I like it. And I liked it so much, I stayed.
Great bit of inspiration, and also nice to hear word of mouth as well. You heard from it. So again, if you're on the call today and maybe the STEM ambassador is not for you, or maybe you are inspired and want to sign up, then do encourage your colleagues, push your organisation to consider watching the webinar, or encourage them to sign up as well. Ashley, what motivated you to sign up?
Yeah, so I was back in 2016 or 17, so back before the whole world was remote. So I was in my final year of university, I think, and I was just trying to think of how I could develop, these skills without having a job in that sort of sphere of public speaking and time management. And yeah, STEM, I think I must have been in a lecture and they were talking about the volunteering side of the university. So I went and had a chat with somebody and they said, oh, they're actually coming in and holding a session, because you had to do an in-person session with STEM learning at the time. And yeah, I think it was a guy came in for an hour or it was a day, I can't remember. And then he said, right, here's the list of activities that are actually going on over the next few weeks, if anybody wants to volunteer for that. And I think that really helped, because sometimes you feel like you sign up and then it's like, okay, now what do I do? So having him have that list of activities, I think really sort of pushed us to volunteer for that first one straight away. And obviously with everything being online now, you will have access to that dashboard straight away. So you can sign up for things or just have a little look at the dashboard, how it all works. But you will have lots and lots of activities right there. But yeah, for me, it was definitely a sort of career development step. And as Jen said, 1, 2, 3 activities, you just fall in love with it and want to carry on and do more.
Thank you, Ashley. And Ella, what motivated you to sign up as an ambassador?
Well, like I said, I was already doing some volunteering at my children's school, sort of helping out with the forest school. And when they reached an age where they weren't doing that anymore, I was missing it, and I wanted to continue with that work of connecting children with nature. And I think I heard something on the radio about STEM ambassadors or something like that. I can't quite remember, but I signed up on a whim And then we got really, really busy with work, and I realised that I didn't have time at that point. So that's why it took me so long to then kind of do my first activity. But it was actually a really good way in, and I find that it's really easy to kind of get in contact with schools who are looking for someone to do an activity. The regional hubs, they also send out emails, and you can kind of with sort of highlights, and sometimes there and then you can see, oh yeah, that's something that I could do, or I don't have time for that right now. Maybe you know, the next email that comes will have something, and I'll be able to step in at that point.
Yeah. Sarah, we've got some more questions coming in, I think, haven't we? Might be on mute. There you go.
Yes, we have. We've got someone asking whether activities have to be advertised through the STEM website, or can you do activities with schools you already have existing links with? Ashley, do you want to take that one?
I think Ella put her hand up there. She's probably going to
Oh, sorry, Ella.
the same as me, but Ella, go ahead.
Yeah, you can do your own activity, and then you can still log that on the STEM ambassadors on your STEM ambassadors account as an activity. So that first activity that I did with my son's secondary school, that I organised that with the school directly, with no STEM ambassadors intervention at all, but still completely counts towards STEM ambassador activities. So that's the great thing. I think you know, you can mix and match really with, if you've already got contacts, then you know, keep going with those contacts, because that's great to build up those relationships. But I think STEM ambassadors just offers that opportunity to broaden out, or to broaden the what you can provide, and to be able to go into other schools or other organisations that you may not have contact with at that point. I don't know if you've got more to add to that, Ashley.
No, I was going to say pretty much the same thing. Yeah, you can log any activities. So all the activities and offers are on STEM. But if you do anything aside from that, there's a part where you can just log an activity, how many hours it took you, how many hours of prep even, and then that will go towards your fulfillment as a STEM ambassador.
Thank you, Ella. And just linked to that, again, just a quick note, if you are a sign member, obviously, then that's quite key to enter your CPD record as part of being a member. We've got a couple of questions that come in quite similar. So one's about STEM activities applying for adult groups, and also can you work with community groups and older people. So anyone got any experience of working with community groups and also adults through STEM? Was it maybe primary or secondary? Oh, actually,
I've worked with Girl Guides before, so we did a bio blitz with a Girl Guide session. I went in and did a STEM ambassador session. I then became a guide leader because I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, you can join other community groups. I think what I've found is generally secondary school and further up, it's quite difficult to fit into the sort of curricula, because they have exams and assignments. A lot of the offers are primary school. You can do secondary school, absolutely, but I do find the majority are primary school. Yeah, it's quite difficult maybe to get into sort of groups that are, you know, in higher education and things like that. But that's not to say that you can't email and contact lecturers, universities, and say that this is what you offer, and then log your activity through the STEM website. You can do it many ways. All the activities on there generally I find are primary school, but if you want to do community groups, reach out to them, and then you can give them your DBS or PVG number from your STEM profile, and then you can log it in your dashboard.
Actually, just one quick one there. I don't know about universities. Through SIAM, we have degree accreditation programs, so we've got contacts with at least about a dozen more universities directly, so around the whole country. So if you are interested, we can be in contact with those A couple of other questions have come in around. Oh, Ella, sorry, Ella.
I was just going to add about the universities. So we've done a little bit of outreach with the local university as well. You know, informing them. I think it's sort of mainly careers talks for undergraduate students. So that absolutely is a possibility as well.
And Jen, yeah.
I've worked with student teacher groups as well through our local university at the University of Worcester. So that worked pretty well. And I did that through my local hub. But as Ashley mentioned, you can always suggest and say, I'm a STEM ambassador. Would you like to do this activity? So there's a lot of scope.
Yeah. Thank you, Ashley, for answering that one. Yes, STEM is actually the whole of the UK, so it does include Wales, and the portal does have activities in Wales as well. There's another question that came through around is there support for running an online session, like using Zoom, for example, and presentation skills. So I think I could probably answer that hopefully. So STEM Learn do training, and one of the courses they do is around presentation skills. I assume I haven't been on the house out, but I'm going to do ones on Zoom linked to that as well. And I'm sure there's a whole suite of training around MS Teams as well. Have any of you had experience using those at all? No. Ashley?
Not the specific training, but they do offer, I can't remember what they called it, but it was like a sort of learning lunch, and they just had a webinar on and you could join if you wanted and ask questions. I'm not sure if they still do that. I think I've seen it in their newsletters, but they're maybe not as often. But you can join in, just ask them any questions and then leave when you want. It's not a full sort of teaching webinar or anything. It's just open for discussion.
If there's any more questions, if you've got any more questions, then please, got a few moments left to quickly answer some. But just to finish us off, I'll come to three of you in 10. Can you just explain your STEM experience, STEM ambassador experience, in 3 words? Okay. So should we start with Jen? 3 words. There you go.
Oh gosh, I would probably say rewarding skills and inspiration in terms of from the children and from other ambassadors and from teachers.
Very nice. Got inspiration in there. That's really good. That's good. And Ashley.
Enthusiasm, creativity, progression.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you.
Oh no, two of my words have already been used up. Okay, I'll go with fun, creativity, and rewarding. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. And again, Ashley, Jen, and Ella, and Sarah as well for supporting us. I want to say thank you to the 3 of you and to Sarah for today's webinar and being part of the panel. Much appreciated. I hope those that are listening, I hope you've experienced some of the insights into what it is being a STEM ambassador and how you can do that. And it can be any graded membership, be a member, non-member, any stage of your career, you can become a STEM ambassador. You can commit to an hour a week, an hour a month, an hour a year, and still actually inspire somebody to actually consider a career in a nature-related role. We'll be uploading this presentation and the webinar to YouTube, so you can share it with your colleagues, family and friends, whoever you want to share it to. Spread it out as much as possible, so we want to inspire as many people to sign up. And also we'll send through any links that are in the presentation slides you can click on and download, including the sign up link to STEM Learning. And also we'll drop in there links around the National Education Nature Park. It's a national initiative around working with schools that again you can sign up for STEM ambassadors with, and also around the Green Dots for Nature campaign. It's all about engaging young people in nature-related roles and careers and raising awareness of different opportunities. So again, just say thank you to everybody coming today. I hope you've enjoyed it and learned something today, and hope you feel a bit inspired to go on and start your STEM ambassador journey. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.